we're gonna, dive into this. Please share, subscribe, hit that like button, man. Now we gotta dive into this. The trouble of America, no peace. As you see, America is trying to hold a place as the greatest power of the nation of Earth. It's one of the most troubled countries on Earth today. After all these years making trouble, now they're trying to find peace. You think that there will be any peace in this time to find peace after they bomb the Iranians' facility? See, the world, my brothers and sisters, had never before seen the top rulers of the land leaving the office to visit nations abroad. So the purpose of these visits to foreign countries is to make peace with them after years of troubling them. See, this is not about no peace, brothers. This is an all-out war. Iran ain't buying it. You bomb our facilities, and now you're talking about making some kind of peace. This is not about no peace negotiation. See, America brought all of her trouble upon herself. See, she's alone to be charged with being the cause of the troubled world and people today. America loved meddling into other people's affairs. She just cannot stay out of other people's business, whether they be a 2 cent worth soapbox teacher or president and king of countries. See, America actually fits the description of the prophecy of the Bible. See, the beast have eyes around and about. See, this refers to her mechanical listening device, which America listens on other people's private affairs, as well as her listening on foreign governmental affairs. This also refers to her powerful telescopes. America goes to war and make war against other people. Then she charged them with making war against her when she is the one who is guilty today of war making. See, the Bible says a lot of God will destroy those to delight themselves in making war. See, God will delight themselves into making war. So America had crossed the line with Iran. According to reports, see, Iran red line was crossed. Security experts discussed the Iranians' threat to activate U.S. sleeper cells. The Jerusalem Post reached out to the U.S. security and communities, security bodies to ascertain that the threat posed by Iran sponsored domestic terror in light of the U.S. strikes on Iran nuclear facilities. Now, according to reports, Iran sent a strong message to President Trump threatening to activate a U.S. based sleeper cells should he order strikes on Iran nuclear facilities. The NBC revealed on Sunday that long after the U.S. struck 3 facilities. Now, it says that red line was assessed to be directed military engagement, especially targeting Iran nuclear facilities. The red line has not been crossed. So, master threat analysis, he explained that the SCN have long known the risks of Iran groups and sleeper cells being activated. Being activated. So it says, as a result of the war of the Middle East, but that threat has become very real and present as a result of the U.S. strikes on Iran nuclear facility. I want to say, y'all, during the Biden administration, you see the border crisis, they've been smothered here, man. They've been in the U.S., man. And, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Under order, man. Under order they follow, man. They are ready to to strike on the U.S. grounds, y'all. Let's think about the 9/11. I believe it was that 9/11, 2000 or 2001, when former President Bush said that Iran was using weapons of mass destruction, and come out that they wasn't using the weapons of mass destruction. Now to come to find out that President Trump, went into Gaza and tried to use troops to set up a mobilization over there in Gaza to make Gaza a bulwark city. See, in 2016, when President Trump ran his campaign, he was going to Iran talking about taking the oil. How they were spied the secret intelligence and saying Iran using some kind of weapons of mass destruction, nuclears. And then you went in Iran to try to talk of taking the oil and to make Iran a bulwark city. So it says right here, according to reports, while such a state sponsored the Iranians' threat hasn't manifested on U.S. soil until now, it does not mean that the Jewish security organizations have not been preparing for it. Richard, the CEO of the U.S.-based Community Security Service, told the Post on Monday. The CSS is a national non-profit that works to ensure the security of the U.S. Jewish community. It also provides security training to its 5,000 active volunteers, have trained about 20,000 up to date. Now let's roll to this clip, man, because there's no peace in this time, y'all.
I had so many locations, I don't know what to do with them all.
Did you ever see Elon Musk get physical with the Treasury Secretary?
No, I didn't.
And I tried to
I
ask.
did have an argument, but I didn't see it. I didn't see a lot of physicality there.
There was this New York Times report that he did not want to talk about, Elon Musk, that alleged that he, towards the end of his time in the White House, was blurring the lines between recreational use of drugs and medicinal. Do you think he ever had drugs here at the White House?
I really don't know. I don't think so. I hope not. Look, I wish him well. You understand. We had a good relationship, and I just wish him well. Very well, actually. Yeah.
About aid in Gaza, you mentioned now the flotilla. Do you have a response at all about Israel intercepting this boat? And can you give us an update on what's happening to the entry of aid into Gaza right now? We've had people being shot by Israeli forces who are trying to get aid from the
right
Gaza
now,
Humanitarian Foundation. Yes.
Gaza right now is in the midst of a massive negotiation between us and Hamas and Israel, and Iran actually is involved. And we'll see what's going to happen with Gaza. We want to get the hostages back. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, please, in the back.
Look, guys, they trying to get a negotiation that they were trying to get long when Trump, got in office 100 days. See, this is not about peace, y'all. This is not about peace agreements. You think this could America just go and bomb Iran facility that this going to be all taken care and solved? No, this is not about peace, my brothers. This is about a war that's going to be in the making. And see, America knows she can't go to war, but she's continuing to escalate herself in a war. You know, Trump is just following executive order, and they worry because how Iran will probably respond, how they will respond. They worry, you know, and you know, Trump is following a basic order, a executive order. He's, you know, there's someone. There's always going to be someone, the big boss That's going to be the head of him. So, you know, be expecting for our Iranians, you know, to come into U.S. soil. You know, if they're not already here, man. You know, cyber attacks, you guys that can come to the United States, they can hit our electric grid. You know, what I mean. Our power plants. Let's go, y'all.
It's very dangerous going to Lebanon. There are some ambassadorships that are wonderful. There are some that are dangerous. I said, Michel, his name is, it's a he, Michel, very elegant man. And I said, why would you want this? And he said, because I love my country and I love those people. I said, it's very dangerous. He goes, I don't care. This is not a man that lived on danger. He's a very successful man from here. And he wanted to be the ambassador despite probably a very dangerous situation he's going into. You see what's going on. But I had great respect for that. He loves that country. He loves it. He was born there. He loves the country. Yeah.
Mr. President, you've got a big, beautiful parade coming up on Saturday.
We do.
What's your biggest expectations for that? Then I've got a second question in regards to Gavin Newsom. Go ahead and talk about this big, beautiful parade.
It's such a, thank you, Brian. It's such a, I think, important moment for this country. 2 weeks ago I was calling people back and forth with leaders, including President Putin, including French president, including lots of different people. And all of them said, we're celebrating victory in World War II. And I said, wow, isn't that amazing? We're the only one that wasn't celebrating, and we're the one that won the war. Now, Russia did help. They did lose 51 million people, in all fairness. People would say, oh, he's sticking up for Russia. No, they lost 51 million people. And, we can't forget that. But France was celebrating. And, as you know, Hitler made a speech at the Eiffel Tower. But when I spoke to President Macron,
Look, you guys, we lost over 65,000 soldiers in World War One. And people that risked and died to save American independence. Just think about if we was to go to war right now. Just think about who they would have to draft, your children, into this war, into this mess. Just think about, are your children going to go and fight a war to save American independence? Just think about it. They pull you from your senior year. They pull you from college. Because they can't, take care of the situation. Just think about how your kids could be dragged into a war that they can't take care of. Because this is not about peace in the time, brother. This is not about solving and making a peace agreement. Now, the President Trump declared for the U.S. troop to go into Iran facility and bomb their nuclear program facility. This is not about no peace. Now, what happened if they decided to set up cyber attacks, hit our internet, our grid, our power plants? Come on, you guys. Let's think about what can happen on the U.S. ground. Let's go.
No, think of it. We won so much. We won World War One, World War Two, so much else, and then we became politically correct. But I can only tell you that I was told that ISIS would take anywhere from 4 to 5 years, and we did it in 3 weeks. You were there, you watched, right? We have the greatest military in the world. Nobody can beat us. As long as we have our right leadership, nobody can beat us. If we have stupid people running it, like you had in Afghanistan, when you look at that, first of all, Afghanistan should have been an easy victory.
Look, you get old people like him running president for the country. You know, and it's like, why do we put old people to run this nation? You know, we got enough problems. We need a president that have fresh ideas. A young president, not these old presidents that don't have no kind of fresh ideas. We need a president that can run this country. Not an old president that don't have no idea. But as long as we get these old presidents, man, we're gonna be in the same vote, man. We're gonna be in the same situation that we are in, man. Let's go.
His past statements about me. I was a great president. I always took care of California, all that. But I'm just talking on results. You look, he has the advantage of beautiful weather.
Look, you guys, he's lying right in your face. He had no concern to take care of California. If he signed executive orders, if he tells you guys all he had to do is sign, he was waiting for this time to come where all he got to do is sign. He's cutting down California, funding programs, and he's lying to you that he's taking care of California. This country is based on lies, y'all. Y'all gotta understand, when you vote for these people, they're not here for the needs of American people, y'all. They're only here to fall. See, America's a corporation. It's only here to fall under executive orders, man. See, just because Trump president of the United States, there's someone higher than him telling him what to do. And they so worried of what's going to be the next Iran move, man. America knows that she cannot go to war, man. She cannot go to war right now. The United States cannot go to war right now.
The Concorde, it was the most beautiful plane, but it was got you there in half the time. Now you spend a lot of time, and there's no reason for it. Because, they have the sonic boom. It's not a huge problem, but they have the sonic boom thing pretty well figured out. The technology changes, the change in the skin, the change in weight, all of the other things. There's no reason why we shouldn't do great. So we are making it possible for them to do supersonic and get us back on the track. I mean, think of it, 30 years ago, we actually had planes that flew much faster than we do now. It took you half the time to get to a location. So we've regressed, and we're going to progress. Okay? Right. Sort of an amazing thing, isn't it? We've gone backwards. On Wall Street, they haven't done that. If Goldman Sachs was like that, you wouldn't have Goldman Sachs anymore. Yeah, please.
Los Angeles. Are you going to deploy Marines in California?
We'll see what happens. I mean, I think we have it very well under control. I think it would have been a very bad situation. It was heading in the.
Look, America is heading in the wrong direction, y'all. This nation is on the verge of collapsing, y'all. You know, I've been telling y'all, expect to see high inflations, high cost of living. This country is going to be where it's going to be unaffordable for you, man. You're going to have to make a preparation. You're going to have to make some kind of awareness, because I tell you guys, man, it don't have no permanent future for you here, man. And we just passing through here, man. The way things set, man. This is not about a time of peace. You know, America just at this point she overwhelmed herself. And all the other foreign nation was trying to meet ends and trying to find a way of peace, but instead America deceived them. See, this is a nation, you guys, love managing other people's affairs. Can't keep her nose clean. And see, we in this fight today because she can't keep her damn nose clean. She can't keep her nose out of other people's affairs. When Donald Trump says that he was not going to escalate anything, Donald Trump specifically said that he was not going to escalate this. Donald Trump said a lot of things saying he's going to make America great again. And he lied to the American people. He said a lot of things to you. Let's go, y'all.
We're doing. We're making it great. We're making it safe. We're making it beautiful. And we're making it very wealthy again. You know, wealth is okay. You need wealth to take care of lots of other people. We have to make our country better. It has to heal from 4 years of abuse. Our country was abused badly by a very incompetent person and a group of people that weren't incompetent, but they were radical left lunatics. And they ran the country with an auto pen. And I hope that law enforcement's looking at that very seriously. That's like a takeover of our country in a certain way, because this guy had no idea what he was doing. You saw that during the debate. You saw that in other cases. I mean, he had no idea. I saw it years ago. By the way, 40 years ago, he had no. He was bad 40 years ago. We're not just talking about. And they always like to say age, but it's not age. I know people 88, 89, 92. Bernie Marcus, who just passed away, was 95. I spoke to him a year before. He was 100%. It's not age. It's something else, but whatever it is.
See, it is age. When age catch up, when you get old and you don't have a mind for American people, you get old, you got to step down, man. Period. You just got to step down. Okay, if you can't be in for the hearts of the people, you just got to take a step down, man. And let someone else come in and rule, man. But as long as we get these old farts, it's going to make our country even worse than what we see today. Trump is a manipulator. He's a liar. He's an antichrist. He's a high elite antichrist. You know what I mean? Trump is a higher power elite antichrist, y'all. And someone's higher than him. Give him the order. So, just want to say, nothing surprised. Nothing surprised me. You not to surprise you who runs in this house. Democrat, Republicans, nothing should surprise you guys who running in this presidential. So nothing surprise you.
I watched the chief yesterday. He was a good man, by the way, and he said, "Well, we're lucky we did this because they were overwhelmed. You saw what was happening, so we did the right thing. Everybody agrees to that. But you have a governor who let the city burn down and didn't want water to be sent down to him. And I sent millions of gallons of water. I wanted to do it in the first term. He wouldn't do it over. I don't know. They have environmental reasons, but there were no environmental reasons. I think it's just a political philosophy. But it's lucky for the people in Los Angeles and in California that we did what we did. We got it just in time. It's still simmering a little bit, but not very much. Yeah, please. The crime has he committed? I think his primary crime is running for governor because he's done such a bad job. What he's done to that state is like what Biden did to this country, and that's pretty bad. It's the wrong philosophy. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants, many of them prisoners. They're taking up your health care. They're taking up your space in schools. They're taking up your hospital. And in many cases...
Look, you guys, neither president seeks the office is here for the hearts of the American people. You got one blame the other. Trump don't take no faults of what he's doing. You about to see the worst to come. He's talking about Joe Biden, about the mess, he made smothering, immigration. But look, man, we ain't never see the problem Trump is bringing, y'all. You ain't never seen what Trump is going to do. Signing mass deportation, cutting out the, immigration. When half immigration voted for Trump. Trump got the most. I want to say this first of all. Trump got the most votes, from immigration. That's where most of the votes came from. And Trump said, ever since he came in, he said what he was going to do. He was going to, build that wall, destroy immigration, man. When half of the votes that he had was immigration. Let's go.
There could be, as you look at what's happened between the fires, I could name 10 things right now. We talk about the trains. We talk about all of the costs in California. You talk about all of the people that are flowing and destroying life for everyone else. So no, I don't think it's going to help him. I think it's actually very bad for him.
And right around the time that we were walking in here, the governor and the state attorney general said that they're going to sue you for sending the National Guard in. They're saying there's no invasion, there's no rebellion. The president is trying to manufacture chaos and crisis on the ground for his own political ends. Federalizing the California National Guard is an abuse of the president's authority under law.
Well, it's interesting. You watched the same clips as I did. Cars burning all over the place, people rioting. And by the way, we stopped it. We were able to make it much better. But
okay, now, why was the people rioting? Why was, because people was dissatisfied. 100 people was dissatisfied, man. These people came here, man. These people came here under the old Obama administration. These people that live here in the United States for 20 years. Just think about how their families had to leave the United States when their family was here. Just think that would happen when they, you know what I mean, send National Guards to come in your home, take you somewhere you don't want to go. And you gotta go into the office and get verified to see it as you belong here as a U.S. citizen, man. Just think about all those immigration men made way, you know, to build farmlands and you know what I mean, construction. Just think, brothers. I want y'all to think for a second. Just think about these jobs that won't be here. Just think about the little jobs that they'll bring here that won't pay you anything. Now just think about the big jobs. Just think about all the labor. You know, just think about the immigration made a way for a lot of us, man. Just think about how those people was out there protesting, fighting for rights, and you know, and Trump saying, well, the only reason I send the National Guard, you didn't see the chaos in the street, you see people burning Los Angeles. But the people was angry. Yeah, you know, the thing I'm trying to say to you, fam, if this happened in any other minority group, where you got a president that can just sign these executive orders and sending these mass deportation and sending half your people back to their country, that's going to be a problem. I believe these people fight for what is right. Cause not only Trump is trying to send them, trying to ban all immigration, y'all, from coming to the United States. But the thing of it is, y'all, as coming here to the United States, you should be having rights to come here. If you're going through a mid-rate crisis, anything in your country, you should be able to want to come here. Make yourself a home here. But America is finna be, it's finna be to a point, y'all. It's finna be unaffordable. You're about to see a high cost of living. You're about to see a great commodity like you never seen back in 1970. You're about to see a fallout. And you're about to see a whole food chain. The cost of groceries, because you know America is not making no. They have not made no kind of deals with China. They plan on using tariffs that they put in China, sanctions they put in Russia, sanctions on Iran, and these people ain't buying all that. So in other words, this is not about no peace, y'all. Trump just fueled a escalation, man. Let's go.
I got so many locations, I don't know what to do with them all.
With Fiverr, you can hire top-rated freelance experts in a variety of AI services. Alternatively, you could.
But I didn't see a lot of physicality there.
There was this New York Times report that he did not want to talk about, Elon Musk, that alleged that he, towards the end of his time in the White House, was blurring the lines between recreational use of drugs and medicinal. Do you think he ever had drugs here at the White House?
I really don't know. I don't think so. I hope not. Look, I wish him well. You understand. We had a good relationship. and I just wish him well, very well, actually. Yeah.
About Egypt in Gaza. You mentioned now the flotilla. Do you have a response at all about Israel intercepting this boat? And can you give us an update on what's happening to the entry of aid into Gaza right now? We've had people being shot by Israeli forces who are trying to get aid from the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Yes.
Gaza right now is in the midst of a massive negotiation between us and Hamas and Israel, and Iran actually is involved, and we'll see what's going to happen with Gaza.
See, he can't tell you what's going on over there. They warn like crazy over there, and he's just saying that Gaza and Israel is working on a peace agreement. Don't believe all that, y'all. They warn like crazy, man. You see what Trump did? Bomb 3 of our, the Iranians facility, man. And Iran came back striking Israel facility, man. This is not about no peace, y'all. The people are asking them questions about, man, what's going on over there? What's going on over there in Gaza, and what's going on with the Iranians, man? This war, look, y'all. This war is intense, y'all. There's no peace, man. There's no peace, man. Trump is just because he stepped in office, he was saying that all the war would have stopped if I was in office. You don't see nothing stopping yet, man. Ain't nothing dying down yet. You know what I mean? You think he went over to the Middle East to, you know what I mean, to solve those issues, man? Them people looked at him, man. These people they take our war leaders as a joke, y'all. They took Biden as a joke. They're taking Trump a joke. I want y'all to know something, man. These foreign leaders, man, they're not taking the United States serious, y'all. I've been telling you guys this. They're not taking the U.S. serious. Let's go, y'all. Because they're not. They're just not taking the U.S. serious right now. Every other nation is laughing at America right now. Because they know, y'all, they know that it will be severe consequences. Like America is facing severe consequences. That all she's trying to do is trying to make peace now. After making all the years of trouble. Now she's trying to make peace. Knowing we can't go to war, but you're putting the country in war. You're putting the people, Iranians, to invade the U.S. when some of them probably already here. And some of these people that's protesting in the streets probably already here, y'all. The loot and chaos you see, some people might be already here, y'all. I won't be surprised if we see cyber attacks happen in the U.S. and electric grids and internets and power plants and things that they can attack on our grounds, y'all. Y'all gotta pay attention, y'all. Y'all gotta pay attention, man. Because earlier today when I was live, y'all, I was totally muted. Because they don't want this kind of information out, y'all. But let's go.
We want to get the hostages back.
People pray.
Thank you, Brian. It's such a, I think, important moment for this country. 2 weeks ago I was calling people back and forth with leaders, including President Putin, including French president, including lots of different people. And all of them said, we're celebrating victory in World War II. And I said, wow, isn't that amazing? We're the only one that wasn't celebrating, and we're the one that won the war. Now, Russia did help. They did lose 51 million people, in all fairness. People would say, oh, he's sticking up for Russia. No, they lost 51 million people. And, we can't forget that. But France was celebrating. And, as you know, Hitler made a speech at the Eiffel Tower. But when I spoke to President Macron, he said, oh, we are...
Look, he never tell you how many black people lost their life in a war. We went in there and fought Pearl Harbor, man. A lot of black people suffered. Ask yourself this question, y'all. You gotta ask yourself. Don't start allowing your kids to make decisions about if they gotta go to the military and go in here and fight the white man's war. Because most families will allow you know what I mean, your children to go and fight a war that never necessary for them to join to fight a white man's war to save their independence. It was never necessary for us to go fight these American war, man. Especially when you got war leaders escalating and fueling a war. We should never think about fighting a war, y'all. Let's think this. If you sit back and think, and just sit back, this fight is not for us, y'all. This fight that they're escalating, this is not our fight, y'all. So why do you think your children should go and fight a war when it's not their fight? And they're gonna be using many of our young children in the draft, man. Because look, y'all, things is going to get tense, y'all. Things are going to get tense, man. This is the same man said that if I was in office, I would stop the war. You ain't gonna see the war stop. This is my point that I'm bringing to you guys, man. The same man talking about Joe Biden as he's, you know what I mean, he's no better than Joe Biden. You know what I mean? Now we got Trump in office. You know what I mean? You see he's fueling war, and now he's trying to, because things is backfiring. Now he's trying to find peace when things is backfiring, man. You know, Iran ain't gonna stop, man. You know what I mean? When you bomb someone's facility, that's the consequences that the United States will have, man. You know, that's the consequences that the United States will have, man. You bombing someone's territory, their nuclear program facility, that's going to be a problem. You want someone to surrender because you feel it's best to find peace now. And the U.S. know they outnumbered, man. We outnumbered even to stick our head. And Trump said he was not going to stick his nose in other people's affairs. This is what Trump says, man. This is what Trump stated. He said, I'm not going to stick my nose in other people's affairs. Let's go.
Economy is and all this U.S. investments coming in. Is he the right governor and leader for the future of California and for
I don't
U.S.
think
investments?
he is. I mean, I think he's done a terrible job. And, you know, he's a guy, I always got along with him. You look at his past statements about me. I was a great president. I always took care of California, you know, all that. But I'm just talking on results. You look, you know, here's the advantage of beautiful weather, maybe the best weather of any state when you think about it. Beautiful weather, beautiful ocean, beautiful everything. You have all the advantages, and he didn't take advantage of that. And he's let people come in by the millions who are overrunning your hospitals, your education system, and your police. Your police are being overrun. Look at what's happened. He should only be happy I sent in the military, because if I didn't send them in, you would have had a problem there. the likes of which we haven't seen in a long time. Yeah, please. Thank you, Brian, very
On
much.
supersonic flight.
Supersonic
Yes,
flight.
sir. I know you just signed an executive order on it. Do you want to see a supersonic Air Force One in the next 10 years or so?
Oh, well, I don't care too much about that, but I would like to see, if you think about it, flight, the word flight's an interesting word, but it's probably the only category where we've actually gone backwards, because we used to have the Concorde, and we could fly to London, Brad, very quickly and nicely, and today it takes you 2 times and 3 times as long. It's the only thing where we've regressed. By the way, the Concorde, in my way of thinking, to this day, Michael, because you're very much into aesthetics, I know, but to this day was one of the most beautiful pieces of art I've ever seen. It was a piece of art, the beauty of the Concorde. It was the most beautiful plane, but it was got you there in half the time. Now you spend a lot of time, and there's no reason for it. Because, they have the sonic boom. It's not a huge problem.
I want to say, y'all, this country spent a lot of time causing trouble and chaos. Instead of fixing it, finding the right solution, practicing the right solution. But they find time to find trouble when we know we can't go to war right now, man. Now, I don't think Trump regrets what he did, man, because he's going to cause a war that's going to happen in the United States, man. And there's nothing that he could do to fix it and come with a solution to fix the problems, man. Our life is damn near in jeopardy, man, because we got a clown that don't really fit the needs of American people, man. I always tell you guys, when you get old people running, man, they don't have the hearts and needs of American people, man. It's like they forget everything they talked about. Trump has to forget everything that he was talking about. And you have millions of people who voted for Trump, man. They just thought that Trump was gonna be this wild card, man. Nah. Shit's backfired, man. It's backfired. He's that's because y'all see how Trump was in 2016, man. Look, man, this is not the Trump you see.
Hello.
Man, this is not the Trump you're seeing, man. Man, we in trouble, y'all. If they come invade us, man, you know what I mean? We in trouble, y'all. If they come to do cyber attacks in the U.S., if Iran plan to do cyber attacks and knock out our power plants and electrical grid, internets, if they plan to bomb and nuke 13 states, you know what I mean? There's 13 states in the U.S., y'all, that easy could be targeted, y'all. Because we got, I guess we got the U.S. got facilities. We got underground basements and things, man. Just think about 13 states that got underground basements, man. Just think that Iran can go into 13 states and nuke the U.S., facility, man. They already nuked the U.S. facility in the Middle East, man. So don't think that this can not happen in the U.S., man. You know what I mean? The cyber attacks that Las Vegas had, man. These things can happen, man. These things actually happen on our grounds. Let's go.
A takeover of our country in a certain way, because this guy had no idea what he was doing. You saw that during the debate. You saw that in other cases. I mean, he had no idea. I saw it years ago. By the way, 40 years ago, he had no. He was bad 40 years ago. We're not just talking about. And they always like to say age, but it's not age. I know people 88, 89, 92. Bernie Marcus, who just passed away, was 95. I spoke to him a year before. He was 100%. It's not age, it's something else. But whatever it is, you can't have that in this country. The damage he's done to this country is unbelievable. But the good news is we've got much of it fixed already, and the rest of it will happen.
Prime Minister Netanyahu, you just mentioned Iran. Did you discuss Iran? Did you discuss the Gaza war?
Yeah, we discussed a lot of things, and it went very well, very smooth. We'll see what happens. We're trying to do something with a country we just spoke about, Iran. I think you should negotiate this. You might be better. I think I'm going to send you to that. What a good idea. This could have been the idea of the day. We'll have Derek get up and negotiate. They are good negotiators, but they're tough. Sometimes they can be too tough. That's the problem. So we're trying to make a deal so that there's no destruction and death. And we've told them that, and I've told them that, and I hope that's the way it works out. But it might not work out that way. We'll soon find out. Yeah, please.
When you were talking about unrest in American cities, you said, quote, "We have to go by the laws. We can't call in the National Guard unless we're requested by a governor." What changed now? Why is this situation different to not consult with Governor Newsom about this?
Well, the biggest change from that statement is we have an incompetent governor. So I talked about governors, but I didn't talk about he's an incompetent governor. Look at the job he's doing in California. He's destroying one of our great states. And if I didn't get involved, if we didn't bring the Guard in, and we would bring more in if we needed it, because we have to make sure there's going to be law and order. You had a disaster happening.
See, law and order, man. They want to bring in a new world order, man. Y'all better be ready for this shit, man. Trump, they're trying to bring in a new world order in this world, man. But be ready, man. You know what I mean? That's why you declaring martial law and, man, declaring, deploying militaries, man. To knock out focus. See, when you focus on one minority group, then you can focus on another one. Minority group. When he could focus on immigration, just think about it, y'all. He can focus on another minority group, which will be blacks. Y'all better be ready, man. Because the same treatment they doing, it's just going to be worse with us, y'all, if we don't get together and acknowledge our brothers, man. If we don't get together and join forces, man, we're going to be right. We're going to be aimed, man. Let's think, man. You ain't going to be able to, black people ain't going to be able to go into these stores and loot, and they ain't going to be able to do all that, man. When they will have permission to kill you, man. This thing, George Floyd just went into the store, man. And they saw him in the store, you know what I mean, and took him out, man. And roughed him up real bad, man. Let's think about, man. Let's think about how many black people killed right there in the South, man. So just think about it, man. If you go and loot stores and stuff, I'm telling y'all, man, what they gonna do, man. Y'all not ready for that. Trump deployed 2,000 troops, and he was expecting to deploy more than 2,000 troops, man. Y'all not peeping the play, man. Peep the play.
All right, please, Peter.
Mr. President, have you gotten an update from your negotiating?
Thank you, President Trump. So it seems like Gavin Newsom likes the attention that he's getting right now from you.
Yeah,
It seems like he does. If you look at recent history, somebody who was running for president, you, who got arrested and had a mugshot, you could make the argument that politically that wound up helping you. Are you worried at all at this moment that talking about him getting arrested could be helpful to his political prospects? Because a lot of people think he wants to be sitting right where you are.
Well, in my case, it was a witch hunt, and everybody knew it, and I was able to explain that during the process. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. And it was a total witch hunt. It's proven to be a witch hunt, and you see what's happened. In his case, it really is very obvious. You look at what's happened between the fires. I could name 10 things right now. We talk about the trains. We talk about all of the costs in California. You talk about all of the people that are flowing and destroying life for everyone else.
So you talk about Gavin Newsom, but see, when Trump already put a budget cut on California, funding programs, man. Come on, man. He ain't think about doing anything for California, y'all. All this is a little talk, jabberish. That's all it is, jabberish, man. That Trump ain't never promised American people anything since he got in office, y'all. So y'all gonna find out what Gavin Newsom says. So I thought he was. See, he's not like he, you know what I mean, what he was in 2016. I thought he was be the same man like he was 2016. He's not like that. And Gavin Newsom took a big jab on Trump. He's not like, he's saying, hear me, he's not like how he was in 2016, y'all. He's worse than what he is today, man. Than what he was 2016, man. Gavin Newsom said, this is a totally different guy, man. Come on, man. And Trump is just throwing shade, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you what Gavin Newsom said, man. Like, man, look, man, this guy is not the guy what y'all expecting and thinking. He's not the guy as you guys voted for in 2016. He's not that Trump, man. This is a Trump of the world, man. He got bosses hiring him, man. You don't think Trump's worried, man, what's going on and how Iran will retaliate, man, on our soil, man? You don't think he's worried, man? You don't think he was worried in the rally? He was expecting for someone to come support him, man. He was worried, man. They got this look, man, on him, man. You don't think he's worried that the United States could be in a war, man? Let's go.
Update from your team in London negotiating the China trade talks.
We are doing well with China. China's not easy, just like your home country.
Where can I find creators who actually drive results? How can the page simplifies creator marketing by handling?
And now I'm only getting good reports. It's a little early, but they'll be calling in soon. In fact, probably when I get back, I'll have my first call from them. We want to open up China, and if we don't open up China, maybe we won't do anything, but we want to open up China. It'll be a great thing for China, a great thing for the rest of the world.
Lift export controls when it comes to China? Did you give your negotiators any
Well,
sort of
We're going
limitations?
to see. Look, China has been ripping off the United States for many years. Nobody charged them 10 cents. No president had the courage to charge China for whatever reason. They didn't want to do it. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars. I put on tariffs on China when I got in first term. And we took in hundreds of billions of dollars. And then I did it again, but I did it for a lot of others. If you look at the stats, the deficit last month was cut in half. Everybody was shocked. I wasn't shocked. I think a lot of the people at this table weren't, because they saw the billions of dollars that were pouring in, and the tariffs hadn't even started yet, just about. There weren't cars. They were in some countries at a very minor level. And we cut the deficit in half, and it was a big story a couple of days ago. They said, I don't believe one of the announces on a business network went wild. Said, "I can't believe these numbers. Those numbers are good. The numbers are going to be very good. I think we're going to have a great 4 years. You know, we had the greatest economy in history during my 4 years. I think this one's going to blow it away." Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you have a message for Greta Thunberg, and did she come up on your call with the Prime Minister today?
Well, she's a strange person. She's a young, angry person. I don't know if it's real anger. It's hard to believe, actually, but I saw what happened. She's certainly different. Anger management. I think she has to go to an anger management class. That's my primary recommendation for her.
By Israel, as she says? Was she
I
kidnapped?
find it. I think Israel has enough problems without kidnapping Greta Thunberg.
And secondly, are you going to
Is that what she said? She was kidnapped by Israel?
Yes, sir. Are you going to get rid of the Tesla and the Starlink service that you have here at the White House?
No, I haven't heard that. I mean, I may move the Tesla around a little bit, but I don't think we'll be doing that with Starlink. It's a good service.
They ain't doing nothing with Tesla. Gonna be moving Tesla around. It's about profit, y'all. How much they can make with Tesla, man. I'm telling you about it. See, you heard what he said, gonna move around. And I think about getting rid of it. It's about profit here, man. Profit, all the middle class earnings, taxes. I'm telling y'all what's gonna be happening here, man. We see they got this new 2025, you know what I mean, project agenda, man. They got the Project Blue Beam, they got the AI. Y'all better be ready what they finna do, man. Once they finna bring a new pandemic out, gonna force the vaccine, things gonna be real rough. A lot of people ain't gonna be able to handle. I'm telling y'all, a lot of people gonna be having that marking on them, man. Ordering for them, buy, rent, sell. A lot of people that's gonna be desperate because I have a couple brothers, you know what I mean, real talk too. You know what I mean? They getting the shots and not knowing what's put in it for $100 a day, or you know what I mean? I don't care if they raise it up because I was told they're gonna probably put it up to $200 for people. When they bring that pandemic out, man, there's gonna be a lot of other people that gonna be wanting to get the COVID tested and all this, man. I'm telling you, man. And you know, it's not gonna have a cure for a lot of people, man. They're gonna find new studies that we have a cure for, you know what I mean, brain aneurysm and you know what I mean, strokes, heart attacks, and cancer. Tell you guys, man, and they force this pandemic out, this mandate and vaccine. Tell y'all, it's gonna be the next thing they're gonna push. Let's go.
He was already called. You'd have to ask him whether or not he's already called. But I'd have no problem with it. Well, I don't want to say that, but but I would imagine he'd want to talk to me.
Mr. President.
Yeah, please.
Counter proposal from Iran today. Have you gotten that proposal? And what is the main impediment?
We have a meeting with Iran on Thursday, so we're going to wait till Thursday.
And what's the main impediment to getting a deal?
Well, they're just asking for things that you can't do. They don't want to give up what they have to give up. You know what that is. They seek enrichment. We can't have enrichment. We want just the opposite. And so far, they're not there. I hate to say that because the alternative is a very, very dire one, but they're not there. They have given us their thoughts on the deal, and I said, it's just...
See what I'm saying? They're not there. He's just said that dire is not there, y'all. These fortune countries, because they dire, is not there with the U.S. It's not there to do the no more bidding for the U.S., man. These countries, when the U.S. started, the United States started to realize that these people ain't doing no more bidding, none of that no more, y'all. You hear where he's saying they ain't doing no more, it's no more dire. You hear what he's saying, man? There's no deals made, man. They're not buying it no more. They're not buying through these American policies and things like that. You on our grounds now. You are on our foreign policies. If you don't do what we like, then we ain't gonna do what you tell us to do. Ain't no more. Look. Ain't no more America being the bully that she once was. Ain't no more. There ain't no more bulldozing people. Ain't no more of that, y'all. Pretty soon you about to see. Ain't nobody helping out America no more. Pretty soon you seeing all friendships being her doom. Ain't nobody want to sit with her. She's on her own. She's not finna get no need, no help. Nobody showing no nation showing no sympathy. She ain't getting no help. Just hear what President Trump said. They had no dollar.
Not acceptable. I would say, yeah. I don't know what else I can talk about the weather.
Well, you can talk about
Pretty much that's the main topic. Yeah.
Mr. President.
We talked about Lebanon also. Yeah, we did. Well, Lebanon's working very hard. They have a great new ambassador that I put there. Man, I know very well. He's very smart. I didn't even know he was Lebanese. And I said, why would you want Lebanon? He said, I was born there. I love it. I love the people. I said, it's very dangerous going to Lebanon. There are some ambassadorships that are wonderful. There are some that are dangerous. I said, Michel, his name is. It's a he. Michel. Very elegant man. And I said, why would you want this? And he said, because I love my country and I love those people. I said, it's very dangerous. He goes, I don't care. This is not a man that lived on danger. He's a very successful man from here. And he wanted to be the ambassador despite probably a very dangerous situation he's going into. You see what's going on. But I had great respect for that. He loves that country. He loves it. He was born there. He loves the country. Yeah.
Mr. President, you've got a big, beautiful parade coming up on Saturday.
We do.
What's your biggest expectations for that? Then I've got a second question in regards to Gavin Newsom. Go ahead and talk about this big, beautiful parade.
Thank you, Brian. It's such a, I think, important moment for this country. 2 weeks ago I was calling people back and forth with leaders, including President Putin, including French president, including lots of different people. And all of them said, we're celebrating victory in World War II. And I said, wow, isn't that amazing? We're the only one that wasn't celebrating, and we're the one that won the war. Now, Russia did help. They did lose 51 million people, in all fairness. People would say, oh, he's sticking up for Russia. No, they lost 51 million people. And, we can't forget that. But France was celebrating. And, as you know, Hitler made a speech at the Eiffel Tower. But when I spoke to President Macron, he said, oh, we are celebrating the great victory of World War II. And I think that's great that he was doing it. But we're the one that won it, and we weren't celebrating. I said to myself, isn't that crazy? And I think it's time for us to celebrate a little bit. We've had a lot of victories. We won 2 world wars. And then we go out and change the name of the forts where we won the wars. You go out, we win world wars from Fort Robert E. Lee, from Fort Bragg, from all the different.
He's telling you how they won wars, World War One, World War Two, but he's not telling you that we can go and win this war. See, you gotta, listen to this press conference. What he's talking about, what his main agenda. He's trying to find peace. Because America, the United States can't go to war right now. Because we can talk about, the World War One, World War Two. These other countries was celebrating, man. Look, they pretty much think that we got the U.S. right now. Even if, even the U.S. started to make one move, we got them. And the U.S. already made one move. They already made their move in bombing the Iranians' facility, man. And this talk here, look, man, it can't be about peace for him to fix the solution. This is not about peace, man. All these people are worried. Because some of these people believe this man can go back and find a solution, fix the problem, and work on negotiation, work on the plea agreement. Ain't no negotiation, man. This ain't the time to find peace, man. These people are at heads. And remember, you know what I mean, when I tell you guys when President Vladimir Putin met with prime leaders, the Iranian, man. This thing is serious, y'all. You know what I mean? And then you know, Russia get in, and America, you know, because America gonna have to get in eventually. And you know, America get in with Russia, you know, China gonna get in. And who are America gonna find to get in when this thing go down? You know, we got United States. We got our own problems here, man. Natural disasters, and you know, infrastructure. You know what I mean? Inflations, and going to war, y'all. Going to war, y'all. Come on, man. Going to war is gonna bring high inflation, man. Everything's gonna be so high cost living, man. Because it's gonna have to be money spent in these wars, man. Which is so, you know what I mean, bogus to me. But it's going to be so much money spent in these wars, y'all. The United States go to war. Rah, rah. And eventually, we're going to have to fight Russia. Eventually, China going to get in. If the United States go to war, which it can ill afford to go to war, which we are behind. Let's go.
Forts said, what do? We change the name of the forts because we want to be. We are making it possible for them to do supersonic and get us back on the track. I mean, think of it. 30 years ago, we actually had planes that flew much faster than we do now. It took you half the time to get to a location. So we've regressed, and we're going to progress. Okay? Right? Sort of an amazing thing, isn't it? We've gone backwards. On Wall Street, they haven't done that. If Goldman Sachs was like that, you wouldn't have Goldman Sachs anymore. Yeah, please.
Are you going to deploy Marines in California?
We'll see what happens. I mean, I think we have it very well under control. I think it would have been a very bad situation. It was heading in the wrong direction. It's now heading in the right direction. And we hope to have the support of Gavin, because Gavin's the big beneficiary as we straighten out his problems. I mean, his state is a mess. And I'd like to get somebody involved in the rail because, look, personally, it should have never been built because you can fly there for $2. And what are you doing? They're doing that. You could drive. You could do lots of different things. You know, if they did a study, if you gave every passenger the finest limousine service in the history of our world, the most expensive chauffeur-driven, white-glove limousine service back and forth, we would have saved billions of dollars as opposed to building this monstrosity that's going up. And I've never seen anything. You know, I've seen cost overruns. I'm a person. I've always done well on cost overruns. I don't have them. But I will tell you, I have never seen cost overruns. You see it where they're 20% more, 50%, 100% more. These are thousands of percent. Nobody even knows. They have no idea. And it was supposed to be from San Francisco to Los Angeles. Well, they just made it way outside of Los Angeles, where it's stopping in the middle of I don't want to say nowhere because I happen to like one of those little cities very much, but it's way short of the destination. And our government is saying, why are we involved in this thing? It's been handled so badly before him, but he really blew it. So, all right, one more question.
That were had there and the purpose of that retreat. Your time
On what?
your time at Camp David. Can you speak to what discussions were had there and the purpose of that retreat?
Well, I don't want to speak to discussions. I mean, I told you what we were there for a little bit. We had discussions on many topics. We had a group of people, a large group of people, including generals and admirals and lots of others. And all I can say is our country's in great shape. We're in great shape economically. The bill that Mike and Jason and all the people are working on is going to be, I think, amazing. I think it's going to be one of the...
Oh, America's on the verge of a collapse, y'all. I want to say economically, politically, the economy's on the crash. America's on the verge of a fallout, y'all. We seeing it. Anytime, he's telling people that the economy is on the road doing good. No, y'all. People are now coming out losing their homes. They find out that FEMA this is the last year of FEMA. But the little help that they're gonna get from FEMA this year. Because FEMA gonna be wiped out, y'all. Insurance companies ain't gonna be able to bail these people out, man. Once you lose your home and man, I feel sorry those people that's gonna rebuild and all, because the insurance company ain't gonna be covered. They know how rough things is gonna be, y'all. They know how rough things gonna be, y'all. And they tell you that we ain't be able to afford to put up people's house. We ain't gonna afford to fund, trillions of dollars. That's what they telling you. For those people that's losing their house in the South, y'all. They telling you that this gonna be, they put in your face. This would end me with FEMA. Just a little help you're gonna get with FEMA. That's it, man. That's it. Cause they cutting all middle class. They cutting everything, y'all. They started this Project 25 agenda, man. I'm telling y'all, man. They started this Project 2025 agenda, and I'm telling y'all how things are gonna be, man. They putting it right in your face, man. And like, if we go to war, y'all, just think how things gonna be now. Just think about everything gonna go up, y'all. It's gonna be bad, y'all. I would have just moved out the United States. If I got to go through a high cost of living where it's not going to be affordable for you to stay here, I might as well just leave and move somewhere where I can be comfortable. Move out of the United States and be comfortable. Go somewhere. You know what I mean? I'd rather get my money in order, save everything I have, man, and get in order and leave the United States, y'all, because it's not comfortable. The United States is not going to be comfortable, y'all. When y'all start seeing this going to look like a third world country and you ain't got no medical assistance, you ain't got, when you get sick, you can't go into these doctors, you ain't got Medicare, you ain't got none of that. How you gonna think you're gonna go in and, get the medical assistance you need? Many people gonna lose their homes because they cutting Section 8 vouchers. It's sad, y'all. It's sad. And he's talking about one man that made a problem and bringing in smothering, immigration. You got one man here who's trying to reset the whole thing, man, and bring in a new war order, man. Bring in another agenda, man. Let's go.
Most Christy Nome, likewise incredible. The job they're doing. And it's like an unforced error. There was no reason for this. 21 million people were allowed into our country, and many of those people were criminals. And it's a shame. It's a shame, but we're getting them out. And I will say, I think it's a 95-5 issue, just like so many other issues. 95-5. And the Democrats lost an election in a landslide because they're on the wrong side of the issues. I mean, it's not even conceivable that somebody would do the kind of things that he did. And then, you talk about projects. They want to build a train going from San Francisco to LA, and it's costing hundreds of billions of dollars more than they thought it was going to cost. It's not even believable. To Brad and to people sitting here, would you believe that a train, it was going to cost X dollars, and it might be 100 times X?
Would have paid for this for about 50 million American children.
You're right.
50 million American children instead of a 3-mile train track that never got built.
We could have put Lincoln in charge with no experience. He would have done a good job. I guarantee you that. All right, please, Peter.
Mr. President, have you gotten an update?
Okay, for more updates, please stay subscribed to this channel. We gotta close this out, y'all. We out.